For me, I can hear each and every thing he said as honest as a reflection of his own inner authority. It doesn't mean I take every single word he's spoken as fact. Absolute fact? Well, that's not easily spoken by the human mind. I have my own personal definition for that, and I'll share it with you now. My definition for the absolute truth is that which supports all relative truths. And a relative truth is anything that changes, anything that moves, anything that vibrates in any way. So it's not actually possible to speak the absolute truth. The best I can do is speak the most relevant truth.
I mean, being a manifester is not being one of the crowd, you know? I mean, it isn't. And oh, nothing sadder than seeing manifestors trying to be social. I mean, it can be painful, you know? Because they're not good at it. And sooner or later, everybody's going to notice. And then the real trouble begins, you know? I mean, if you added up all the people on the planet who have things said about them behind their back, manifestors are number one. We're right at the top of the list. You know? They will tell stories about us after we die, for generations. Your grandfather was the coldest son of a bitch that ever lived, you know? They'll tell stories forever. They don't get it. See, they're so happy that we're not in charge anymore that they don't care about us. They don't. And if we don't make an effort, they will not make an effort. They won't. They'll just keep on backing away. And of course, because human beings are conditioned, and remember, the manifestor theme is the patina on top of what correctness is. If you're not correct as a manifestor, you already got your problems. The difficulties and dilemmas that I had in my life wasn't because I was listening to my spleen. It was because I was ignoring it, that my mind was being run by my open centers, that I was avoiding confrontation and truth. That was me. Everything about my life that was wrong was what I was not. And then things were really tough. You know, the glory for the manifestor is that moment when you realize that once you have your own authority, you don't even have to play the game. You know, that's real peace. See, I play when it's appropriate to play. I let my spleen decide when to play nice manifestor. Not often do I play nice manifestor. I don't see the point anymore. And I don't see the point because, quite frankly, the great theme of the manifestor that is correct is take me or leave me. You know? Accept me or not. You either accept that this is what I am and you're only going to get as close as you're going to get, and you're never, ever, ever, ever going to get any closer than that. And if you can live with that, well, you're welcome. You know, and if you can't live with that, tough. Go someplace else. Don't get in my way. Don't get in the way of what this life is, because I want to tell you, it goes by so fast. In the swish of a hand, all of us are going to be dead soon, eh? It goes so fast. I mean, I still can't believe that I'm going to be 59 years old. I can't believe it goes that fast. It's not like you have all this time to enjoy the roses, you know? Took me half my life before I even figured out what the hell was going on. And it's wonderful to be here. See, I love the Maya. I love this illusion. It's all we got. It's the only movie we have. These are the roles that are played out. This is the way it goes. It's easy to see the dysfunction. It's easy to see the lack of awareness. It's easy to see all of these things. I can tell you how many babies die every hour. I can tell you how many billions of people don't have fresh water. I can go on and on and on and on and on. But my life through my own authority is perfect. That's what matters. Human design is very selfish knowledge. Understand that. It's for one person at a time. It's so that you can love yourself. The saddest thing that I know is the lack of love that human beings have for themselves. I don't think that there's anything sadder. I don't think there's anything more pathetic as a psychology than people who don't see their own beauty. And it's not their fault. I don't blame them. Nobody taught them. Nobody taught them how to find who they are. You can't love your not self. I couldn't love that man that avoided confrontation and truth, who never knew what enough was enough. I couldn't love that man. I didn't like him. He was not a nice man. He was not a good being. That was not somebody worthy of love. This man, oh, I love this guy. He's really sweet, you know? He's just what I always wanted to be, you know? Such a gift, out of nowhere. Bang, there it is. Look at that. Wow. It can be like this. It's such a surprise when you discover it. And then you get to see what you are.
You know, it's really been amazing for me to see how life does go by so fast. When I was a child, it's like every single day was a whole universe unto itself. Who knows how much could unfold within a single day? And in today's world, it's like, wow, weeks disappear as if they're minutes on a clock. The time just flies on by. And I imagine, as I continue to age, that process will continue. And this is why I'm so grateful to Ra and his work. For me, I can hear each and every thing he said as honest as a reflection of his own inner authority. It doesn't mean I take every single word he's spoken as fact. Absolute fact? Well, that's not easily spoken by the human mind. I have my own personal definition for that, and I'll share it with you now. My definition for the absolute truth is that which supports all relative truths. And a relative truth is anything that changes, anything that moves, anything that vibrates in any way. So it's not actually possible to speak the absolute truth. The best I can do is speak the most relevant truth.
The biggest problem I was having was getting my head wrapped around all of the content and all of the information held within the human design system. Ian really made it simple for me to engage my curiosity for one, but made it approachable enough to where I felt like I could immediately get value out of the conversation and immediately start applying things to my day-to-day life, where it didn't seem like some big puzzle I had to solve. It was an immediate solution to something that I was dealing with in my life. How am I going to apply this with any sense of reality. And he made it so simple and so easy that I have now been on another year and a half since that first meeting with him and my first introduction into human design. And it has really given my overall life experience and the quality of my conscious experience a great boost, and overall something I would highly recommend to anyone else that's early on in their years, or even months sometimes, like I was at human design.
I've been following Ian for about a year now, and I got the chance to work with him recently. The way that his knowledge of human design expands when you're in his presence to fit what you need exactly is something that is a joy to work with and a joy to see live in person.
Oh my gosh, this session was so unique because Ian really made it feel like I didn't have to worry about expectations. I didn't have to have a certain outcome be a certain way, and really helped me understand that I could just kind of ease my way into this. And he was so conversational about it that it felt like I looked up and the time had gone so quickly that I wasn't expecting it to be as much value as it was, for as easy as it felt.
I definitely recommend getting a reading, getting a chance to work with Ian. He's one of the kindest souls I've met and has a really firm grasp on the information in human design. Definitely recommend.
I would recommend working with Ian for anyone that is wanting to have someone that will be both there to nurture your curiosity about human design and the fun things that you can explore about it, but also will challenge you and push you in a direction that will get you up and moving and using it in your real life. I think more than anything else, if you want to not just mentally know this system, if you want to understand how to apply it and use it and see immediate results, Ian is the person I would recommend for that. I think it is important for people to remember that this is an experiment. It is not something that you can try without trying. Like you can't get the flavor of something unless you've chewed it up and swallowed it, right? And this is one of those things where Ian does such a wonderful job of making each thing that you're experiencing understandable, and allows you to apply it with repetition. So it's not just a one-time thing. You learn how to build really good habits and how to build really good ways to honor your own authority in your own life. And from there, he lets you go and then you can fly. It's pretty remarkable how well he sets up my overall experience within human design for the purpose of changing my life, which it really did.
The most relevant, relative truth. Because what's up for you might be down for me. What's left for me might be right for you. That's the difference in our relative perspectives in this world. We don't have this full 360 vision that I hear about from near-death experiences. We see only out what's in front of us. We have a limited perspective. And Ra was no stranger to this. He was not free from that either. He had his own limitations, just like each and every one of us. And he was not afraid to say that I did not love myself in the not-self. When his mind ruled his life and he was so busy avoiding confrontation without ever knowing when enough is enough, he was not worthy of love. He could not love himself. And how things change over time. After he had his encounter with the voice, and he knew how to make decisions as himself, his mind rebelled against that. He tried to run away from it all. He even tried to burn his original human design books. The very first ones ever written, burned to ashes. And then people with the channel of struggle, they pulled it out from him. They're like, hey, there's something going on here. What are you not telling us? You know something. I need to know what you know. Let me know. Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. Like that incessant child who does not give up. Because they know there's something else. There's something that the mind is hiding. And he couldn't escape his purpose. He couldn't escape his life. I believe that none of us can, though we could pretend, if we choose to not accept the truth of who and what we are as unique individual human beings. The truth of me accepting who and what I am is not the same thing as the truth of you accepting who and what you are. The vocal, the acoustic, the words might be similar. The basic logic can sound the same. And yet the actual practice, what it means to accept yourself, it's completely different for each and every human being who is alive. That's why this experiment is one person at a time. It's a very personal, subjective, on the inside experience where you can feel the resistance inside your body lessen. You can feel the tension inside the muscles actually relax and loosen up. You can feel the weight of the world slowly leave your shoulders as you recognize more and more as the days go on. You don't have to figure everything out. All you need to do is be yourself. It's an ancient message, and now we have modern techniques to tell it. We have modern science to validate it. There's so much newness in the world of today, and it'd be a real shame if you did not participate with the new of what it means to be yourself. I know that for myself, I am willing to do whatever it takes as far as I'm concerned, and I don't know what that means. I simply know that I need to be willing to be myself. I know that it's not what I think it is, which is really profound. This world conditions us in so many different ways. Most of it is for the business of productivity, keeping the machine turning. Pay your bills, go to work. All this stuff that people don't necessarily want to do. And how does one get out of that rat race? As far as I'm concerned, the most viable way is through inner authority and type strategy. If you don't know how to make decisions correctly as yourself, then I don't think you stand a chance in the new world that's coming. If I didn't know how to make decisions as myself, I would be terrified. And if I listened to my thinking mind, as if that thinking mind has any right to tell me what to do, then I believe I would be terrified, and I would feel it in the tension of my body. I'd probably be really sick. And yet the thing is I do not take my thoughts very seriously. I take my thoughts like the weather overhead. It's changing, and it's changing, and it's changing, and it's changing. I can't control it. I have no interest in controlling it. My mind is what wants control. And I can see that mind do its thinking, try to figure things out, try to find control, try to know what's right, figure everything out. Gosh, what a joke it is. Because I trust my body to make decisions. And once Ra Uru Hu was able to do the same, he found that he loved himself. It's exactly who he always wanted to be. And I'd like to be able to say the same for myself as time continues. I never would have imagined myself sharing in the public like this so often as I do. And now it feels like a regular exercise of my 1648, my ability to communicate from the unknown depths within my survival instinctual awareness. I'm always pulling from the well inside of me, and I don't know what's coming out next. And it's a joy to work at the cutting edge of what is possible for me personally. Each and every one of us has that possibility to tap into the cutting edge, the very tip of the iceberg, with all the intelligence of everything that's down below, motivating what's at the top. You see that old world, those pyramids, That's an even older world. It's a way different world. Say the pyramid schemes of the so-called modern world. They forgot the importance of the bricks at the bottom of the pyramid. They thought that they can just funnel the wealth up to the top, keep funneling it up to the top. It's not trickle down, it's slowly raise it up to the top, where only the very few get the benefit from all the hard work of the many. And that can't last forever. And so whether that means you find yourself working for the benefit of those few, or whether you are one of those few, it can't last forever. And so the joy of human design is it gives us the possibility to survive beyond the end of these pyramid schemes. The entire Western financial system. The fact that a bank can loan you money and expects more back from you than it gave you? Where's that money coming from? They're just creating more and more debt. And so it's going to crumble one way or another. And who's it going to fall on? I tell you one thing, I firmly believe it will not fall upon the person who trusts their inner authority and type strategy. If you have enjoyed the show and would like to learn more about how all of this applies specifically to you, then kindly refer to the link in this video's description, Private Consultation. Here, we can dive into all of the details together in a recorded call. May your signature vibration of satisfaction, success, peace, and surprise find you in a good way.